Hello, Darsh Johan Putra. Hello, Darsh Johan Putra. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is Field Senior Trainer and International Master Chess Coach Sekhar Sahu welcomes you on behalf of Sports Authority of Gujarat and Gujarat State Chess Session to this intermediate training session. So today I will be covering some interesting and difficult endgames and some thematic tactical puzzles, followed by I will throw light on the second variation of Grunfeld exchange of Karpov system. Okay. To start with, the position is white to play. Now, black pawn is queening faster than white, and there seems to be no way that white can stop the pawn from queening. However, black king is in the reach of the white pawns. So, how do you proceed now if you are white? How should white continue? Black pawn is only 2 square away. And if you push the a pawn to queen, that is obviously losing the game. Because both will queen, but then queen exchange and black will win the king pawn endgame. Johan Putra, where e4 is coming. The white pawn on d5 and e5. White pawn, this is d5 and e5, there is no e4. We are working out other way around. The pawns are moving. The black pawn is going this way, black pawn is going this way, and white pawn going this way. White seems to be in a very bad shape, but there is resources. What should white do? For example, if you queen the pawn, he will queen, but then the check is coming, and queen exchange, and then the king pawn endgame. So you better be careful, calculate properly now. How should white continue? I want your participation. Somebody has to comment. How should white to play? How can white save the game? I told you e4 is illegal move. E4 is a illegal move. The pawn is already on e5. How can you go to e4? The pawn is moving forward. e6. e6 will come king. What will you do now? e6, king blocks d6. Hello, Mr. Venkatasan. Good afternoon. What should white do now? a6. a6 does not work. If you queen, he will queen, and then he will give a check and queen exchange. a6 does not work. a6, it doesn't work. Now check and keep winning. So now you have to only play this only move. This is the only move. You have to take this, brings the king. Check the tempo. Push queen. Even now white has difficulty. King. Now the king is catching the pawn. If pawn push, king comes. So the king. Now this gives a threat. So only move king. Again this gives a threat. Again this gives a threat. Sorry. This gives a threat. And now you are in the square. You are very much in the square of the pawn. And catch it and draw. So the resources that first you have to play correctly, give the pawn, and then gain a tempo and exchange, and then you have to come and gain a tempo further and get into the square. Okay, next. This position is white to play. White has an advantage because he is having the move, and also there is another plus point. Please find out how should white play. Vera Semenenko, welcome. white to play. White has an upper hand, having the move. Well, how should white play? In end game, the element of time is important. So, white can slow down black and create his pass pawn and win. No, not G3 is not correct move. G3 is not correct. It is wrong. G3, black will have counterplay. If you play G3, your correct move is to play king first. King controls both the pawns. King controls. G3 is not correct. If you play G3, pawn to E4, D5. Now if you play, he can take pawn into pawn, and now he can come here. Now both are on 4th rank. So he is ready to advance. And now if you come here, now pawn push. And now pawn push. And it is a draw, nothing more than a draw. So white wins now by first you slow down, king controls. King controls both these pawns. And now G3 wins. Hello, Alexander. Hello, Mr. Alexander Grishev. I am fine, thank you. Hello, Mr. Gussev. Thank you very much. And now this pass pawn wins, because the whole point is that white is tempo ahead. He cannot push the pawn yet. He cannot push. He will catch. So only move. And now win. The win is again you have to be very careful. If you play mechanically, it is a draw. For example, you have a check at both places. This is the right check. This is wrong check. Right check. If you give a check on the d4 square, he will closer to the queening square, and it is not winning. King to e2. So the correct move check. You cannot come. If you come king, then queen check, and it is easy win. So you cannot go. Only move. But now the king is in the wrong place because they are in the diagonal. So a square will come. Now you cannot come ke3. This wins. Queen b5. So you have to queen, but that loses by square. So this is very important that you have to play. First of all, there are 2-3 themes here. First, you have to slow down. The king move slows down him. And second, you create his outside pass pawn. And now here you have to give the correct check. The right check is queen e5 check. Wrong check is queen d4 check. Okay. So this position, it is winning, because right now he is giving a threat. So all you need to come here, and then you will consolidate the position. Now the threat is the king coming here. So you are forced to come. Okay, the other way you can come here, but then it will be very difficult for him. Very difficult. So this king, now he cannot exchange the pawn, and then gradually push him back. Now knight, king, and now gradually you come. king, knight. Now improve the knight position. King. If f5 n pass wins. So only move. And now winning. After the move, he is pushed. Next move we cover e6. After king d6, we cover e6. Now he is pushed back and gradually won the game. So consolidation with the help of, this is a typical diagram. This is a typical diagram here. This is the typical diagram. Meaning, I made it quick so that we don't lose time. Okay. Now this position, I want your assessment. White to play. What is the evaluation of the position? White has the move. No, black has the move. Black comes here. So what is your evaluation? What is your evaluation? So what does white do to draw the game, Aradhya? Your evaluation is draw. What should white do? Tell me, what should white do now? Not correct move. Bg4 is wrong. Why do you want to waste a tempo? Bg4 is a mistake, because when he pushes the pawn, you got to sacrifice it. You have to sacrifice the bishop anyway. So why waste one move? Yes, king moves correct. d3. King d3. Now sacrifice a tempo. And now you give a threat. What is the threat? He is threatening to play pawn to h3. White threat is h3, and then after that king to g5 in draw. White is threatening h3, so only move. Now this is the simple plan. White wants to, and then this, so only move. Now king. Now sacrifice this pawn and just king draw. Theoretical draw. Black king cannot force the king out. It will be a stalemate. You can't force the white king out of the box. Okay, it's a draw. Now the position is black to play. White is a pawn up. White is having extra pawn, but black has the move. What is your evaluation of the position? Is my question clear? What is the evaluation of your position? This position. White pawns are moving in this direction. Okay. What is your evaluation? Somebody can tell me the evaluation of this position? White is having extra pawn. White wins. So, Johan Putra says white wins. So, any other comment? Any other judgment? Anybody else? Darsh says white wins. What about the Aradhya? What about A and V? What is the judgment? Is it a draw or is it white winning? It is black to play. It is black to play. Please note that it is black to play. Do you think still white can win? Black is a pawn down. Please, how should black play now? Nobody comments. What about Karthik? What about Aradhya? A and V. Black to play. Can white win the game? Okay, Darshan Putra says that queen side pawn majority, white is winning the game. He says white is winning. Do you agree with this? The point is, your judgment must come quickly. Execution may take time, selecting the correct move method, but you should have a quick judgment. So, Mr. Venkatasan comes with the correct answer. Mr. Venkatasan is good in endgame, so Rubinstein showed the power of rook on 7th rank. X. Not passive play. If you play rook d6, white will win the game. If you play rook d6, white will win. He will play king to e2. If you play rook to d6, then king e2 cut down and start racing. Start racing the pawns. So, rook d2 is a correct move. Even though this goes with check, now 3 connected pawns, but the active king and active rook. Now the point is endgame finesse. Now he wants to bring the king here and then give him some threats. What else? You cannot go. King cannot cross over because of the threat. King cannot do anything. So he attacks, rook maintaining on 7th rank. Now, of course, this is too slow. This is 5 moves. In 5 moves, everything will change. Everything will change. Well, not now. If you play passively, then you are blocking. You will not be able to make progress. You will not be able to come. So again, the active move. Now it appears, but now the vital pawn falls. You have to take the pawn. You cannot allow pawn coming there. You cannot allow. Once the pawn comes, the king will come. So only move. And now they are all weak. Draw. It is a draw. Because the rook is cutting off the king. So it is just racing. And draw. Zugzwang. You lose the pawn. Now don't take, of course you cannot take this, and it's a draw. So well done A and V. Okay. Rook on the 7th rank and active king. That is the plus point. What about this position? This position is white to play. What is your judgment? What is your judgment of this position? 3 pawns each, but white has the move. What is your judgment of this position? Aradhya says draw. Do you all agree? Do you all agree it's a draw? Karthik says white wins. So please give the variation now. Your judgment you have given. Now Karthik, how do white win? How does white win? Correct answer. C4 is winning. You need to queen C pawn because later on the king will be here. So you will queen the pawn with a tempo. This is the point. C4. Now queen check and take. Now the queen is ideally coming and force the queen into pawn. That is why C4 is important. That is why C4 is important. And winning the king pawn endgame. So this is simple, but this is all become, everything changes if you start pushing the other pawn. Suppose you push the other pawn, it is wrong. Right judgment. Well played, Aradhya. Next. Now this is the position. Now what is your judgment? Both pawns on 7th rank. Both the pawns are on 7th rank. I want your judgment. No moves. Is this white to play? Can white win the game? Can white win? White has the move. Can white win or it is a draw? Black pawn is queening with check. Mind you, queening with check. Karthik, white wins. So Karthik, can you give some variation? Can you support? Hi Ramakrishna. Welcome. White loses. No. It is a win. It is a white win. It is a white win. No, white does not. White has the move and white wins. It is not a draw. White is winning. Having the move in chess is a treasure. Now white has the move. Everything changes. Yes, white wins. Mr. Venkatasan is right. Find out how white can win. Not rook h8, not rook h8, not rook f1. White wins by Tara. What is Laskar system? I hope all of you, I have explained about the Laskar method. Laskar method. Rook f5 check. Now rook f5 check. So the king will like to come because open the b file. Now rook h5 check, a5 check. Idea, if you take a queen check, I take, so only move. And now rook to h5. So he will say trade the pawn. No, I will not do. Now again, now check. Now you are not going to same Laskar method, that you need to decoy this rook to this point. Decoy the rook to this point. Force him to go to this point. Then only Laskar method. So what do we do? King, king. Now he is giving a threat. So only move. Now you have to come roundabout way. So now the point is your king will come slowly, sorry, slow, not this, like this, and check and check. Laskar, forced. Now rook, check and check, winning. So this is Laskar method, but the trick point is many people will not get the cue that you need to decoy the rook to the second rank. Now you have to decoy the rook. Here it does not work. It doesn't work here. So you need to decoy the rook. Forced to go to the second rank. And now you come roundabout way. Forced, check, and all right. So we move forward to the next. Now there are some difficult. I will tell you. I will present to you some positions which looks extremely hard. But you should not underestimate the defense power of a king. Defending power. King himself is a great defender. Now this position which looks really bad because 3 pass pawns. However, white can cope up. Knight check. So knight check. Repeat. So he will not repeat. Now you should approach the pawn. Let's see why last time he was here. Because when you try to approach, the king will come. So he will not allow. Now king approaches. Now you go. Don't try to attack. That is a wrong thinking. Wrong. So you keep a control. Because if you push this pawn, check and take. So you can't push the c pawn. Only move. Again the only move. Now forced. Otherwise anyway you are going to take. King. The point is if you come and attack, he is in time to defend. So this is not going to work. So he will push the pawn. King. Waiting move. And in time. Because he can't push the pawn. I will take it and draw. Now you just have to play knight there. Because idea if you push, I will take knight check and still control the square. Draw. Trading bulls, good afternoon. So you can see that even though it looks very difficult, the resources are still there. It looks a bad situation, but with accurate defense you can hold the game. Difficult situation. I will give you another position which is also more difficult than this, but then he holds on. Botvinnik. The position here it is more difficult for black because white king is aggressive and the bishop is a superior piece and the pass pawn is ready. So the situation is difficult, but black managed to hold the position with accurate analysis, and in those days adjournment was there. Nowadays there is no adjournment. So the Russian team analyzed thoroughly and saved the game for black. For example, now white plan is clear. White wants to just come here and gobble. Then apart from the pawn, the 2 pass pawns. So knight. Now this is the first good move, not allowing the king to, knight is watching, making a fortress. So you gain time to bring your king. Now your king is in a position to support the knight. So this is not a problem. King will come. So start. King. Now if you take the pawn, the point is the king will come. And after that, everything is very slow down. King. Well, Now whatever you do, for example, next move is preparing to push the pawn. If you move the king, then king will enter, making it more difficult for him. Now trading the pawn is easy draw. After king into pawn, bishop into, once this pawn is gone, it is a theoretical draw. Cannot push the pawn yet. Now the knight is watching this pawn. So better you attack. Okay, if you play king there, it doesn't matter. Now if you push the pawn, I'll take it. And if you push this pawn, how I'm going to handle this? Maybe I will play the knight here. No. If you push there, what I will do? Maybe knight check is good enough. This check is good enough. Should be good enough. Because you can't give me that knight into pawn and I have also pawn. So if you come here again, knight check. I think there is something wrong here. He goes there. What happens this one? Let's check. I did not analyze this. Just a minute. King f7. Why king g7? What happened king f7? Yeah. Knight comes there. Still you cannot push the pawn. You have to push. King attacks. Now you have to push the pawn and knight check and take the pawn. Knight check and take the pawn. Yeah. Just in time. So in the game he played king g7. Forced. Now you cannot push this pawn. You can't push this. Knight comes here. And knight will take. The bishop is tied down to the square. Bishop is tied down. The only move and it is draw only. So he comes here, but then now you can't push the pawn. You push the pawn, I think king here is draw because knight check is coming. So anyway it is a draw. So here he tried this move and repetition. Now this knight is not falling because your pawn will queen. It is amazing resources. Hello RC Ghosh. Hello. So position is difficult, but never get worried. You know, you building a fortress. This is a very good analysis by the Russian team, and they saved the game for a draw. Okay, next. I go to the next diagram. Okay, what about this position? The position between two Russian grandmasters in the Russian championship tournament. So what do you think of this position? Can white save the game? Can white save the game? Yes, evaluate the position. White to play. Can white draw the game? No, no, no. White cannot win. It is a draw. Now white to play. White to play. He made a bad move. This is bad move. What is the correct move for white? After the move, it's a draw. This is a bad move. The correct move is to play this and win. This is the correct move. This is the correct move. And after the move, now there is entry. Now pawn push. Now king enters. King enters. And this is winning. Now king enters and wins. But white played a bad move. It's a draw. After h5 it's a correct move to play and win. But this is a draw. No more win now. Now what to do now? Everything changes with one bad move. He should have played h5 here. He should have blocked the pawn. Now here he could have played h5 and draw. This is a draw, no more win. But he played a careless move. So white does not give a chance and winning. And now white will enter. Whatever you do, whether you play, now king is statue. The king is statue only to these squares. King is badly placed. He can only stay there. Now the whole point is, once he wins this pawn, a pass pawn will be created. He will come like this, come like this, come like this, enter, enter, enter. So now white is winning. Zugzwang, it is a zugzwang. This is now zugzwang. Now king h7 loses to king. Only move. And now pawn is lost. And now f passer. This is winning. Finishing the game. But in the beginning, it was a draw. Beginning, white, the correct move here, this is an easy win. Made a one mistake. Now he should not have played this. He should have played directly. Rook here. Now he should have played rook here. After the pawn push, this is a draw. Draw. Yeah, RC go. You are right. The original position is winning, but not this position. This position black to play draw. Yeah. Now the point is here, white has a cluster of pawns on the king side. 5 pawns on the versus 2. So how should white make progress here? How should white make progress? You can say this is tactics also and also strategy both. Rook c6, the correct move. And now pawn push. Now this is threat. So push. Now threat. And then take the pawn. So he stops it. Now takes the pawn. He plays rook here. Now the point is here white is means should not fall into a trap. For example, you rook check. For example, he can give a check and king moves. You can take the pawn. But then bishop checkmate. Now rook check and king here, bishop into pawn fails to bishop checkmate. So you have to slow down. Here you have to play b3 or make a room for the king, b3, and now winning. Now it's nothing. Now pawn push. It's winning easily. Winning. Now finish because there's too many pawns. Too many pawns. Check. Even bishop into bishop also wins. Even this also winning. Anything wins. Okay. Something like, in that Botvinnik variation of Semislav, some positions such a pawn chain is possible. In Botvinnik variation of Semislav. Okay, this is a very elementary win. Can somebody show me the plan? Elementary win for how to win. This is like this. This position is easy win. Now king to g5 and then king to h6, then you win. But black tried to stop this. Now this is very easy, much more easier. What is the winning plan? Yes, it was 5 pawn versus rook. I have seen one game of some used in Barry, Semislav, Botvinnik variation. That kind of pawn chain was there. It is in the elementary book of Capablanca, just fundamentals. No, don't play h4. Saurav Joshi, you must reserve the tempi. No g4. No, don't push the pawns. That is a bad thing. You reserve. Your king must come out first. First your king must come out. And now g4. Now h4. h3. h4. Now if you come, I will enter and win. And now king. Now enter. Forced. Enter. And now it is a technical win. But if you push the pawns with your king here, if you push, it will be a draw. It will be a draw if you push like this. So your king must come out first. Come out to this place or this place. King g4 and then now you can start pushing. Okay. If he pushes the pawn, then simply not g4. You just place this waiting move. And after this, now waiting move. Zugzwan. Okay. This position, I want to give some judgment in this position. If it is black to play, what should black do? Black to play. What should you do? How should black play? Okay, now I present you this position. Now what should black do now? Saurav Joshi says knight into e5. What is the idea? If you play rook e5, you win the knight. Or she goes knight e5. Saurav, or she goes says knight e5. Okay. So shall I play knight e5? Black to play. Everything okay? I will tell you, unfortunately, knight e5 is a blunder. Knight into e5 is a blunder. It will lose the game. Knight e5 loses the game for black. That is why when I am giving a position, you have to think it is not very easy. Why knight e5 is a blunder? This loses knight f5. Two threats at the same time. Threat and threat. You have no time to take queen. No time, checkmate. So knight e5, sudden counter attack. Black will get a jolt. He will fall down from the chair. From nowhere this comes. Knight e5 loses. The correct move here, you have to be patient. This is rook d7. This is the correct move. Not this coffee house move. This is a coffee house move. Knight e5, knight f5, and black resigns. It is time for resign. So black is winning after rook d7. Overwhelming position. The position is overwhelming now. That is why you got to be careful. In a good position, don't play very quickly. Impatiently, knight e5, bad move. Alright, so rook d7 will slowly consolidate the position and win the game. Okay, friends? Okay. Do you agree? Do you agree with me? Knight e5 is a blunder. Alright. So I go to the next. गणपत हो जाएगा. Now this position, it is white to play. White to play. White has a pawn on the 7th rank. So can white win this game? Can white win this game? So how does white win? This is now white to play. Kamakshi Vastu. No. Thus d8 queen, rook s3 draw. If you play d8 queen, rook s3 check is a draw. So how do white win? No, white is winning. It is not a draw. You have to find the winning plan for white. Find the winning plan for white, man. bf2 will lose, Karthik. bf2 will lose the game. He will give a check and play rook e2. If you give bf2, rook check and rook e2. So bf2 doesn't work. No, I say white is winning. What are you doing is a bishop? No. White is winning. No. Bishop cannot win. You can't bring a bishop. This is an easy draw. Easy draw. Just king will come out. Just rook will come out and draw. The whole point is the correct move is bishop g1. No. This is the winning move. Now rook check does not work. Nothing is working. Now you cannot do anything. This does not work. There is no stalemate. Nothing. You waiting move, I will queen. And rook check, I will take it. This is not a stalemate. You have to take the bishop. It is not a stalemate. But if you make immediately queen, it is a stalemate. If you immediately queen, rook check is there. Stalemate. Or you make a rook also. You make a rook also, the same thing. Rook also stalemate. But bishop g1, zugzwang. It is a zugzwang. If king moves, queen check. Lost. The position is black to play. So what should black do? White pawns are moving in this direction. So black to play. Can black save the game? No, Mr. ANV, you have to play BG1. That is the only move. Under promotion does not do anything. BG1 only wins for white. Can black save the game? Okay, you want to flip the board? Black to play. The Karthik said correct answer. This rook to e6. Draw. Any other move is lost. Suppose you play rook into g3. This is losing. Rook check and winning the game. Then the rook pawn ending is lost. So rook g3 is lost. If you play rook g3, it is lost. Rook check wins. So the correct move is rook. And now there is no escape. Because if you give rook check, it is not winning. Repetition, mere repetition. And if you take the pawn here, now if you take this pawn, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because I can give a check, and you have to keep the rook under attack. Draw. You can't leave. I'll give check, non-stop checks. Hello, Polina, Grisina. Welcome. I'm fine. Okay, next. The position is black to play. Now the problem is that black piece is under attack. The knight is under attack, and if the knight moves, the bishop is falling. So what should black do now? How black will survive now? Survival of the fittest. Black to play and survive. No, BB6 does not work. How BB6 will help? On BB6, just move the king. No, BB6 will lose. He will just move the king. Just move the king and it's bad. It doesn't work. It doesn't. BB6 is a blunder. Dars Johan Putra. BD6. That is also a mistake. Bishop B6 is losing. This is losing. Even this is also losing. Rook to E3. He will play Rook E3. If you play Bishop, Rook E3 with the threat of attacking. If you play Bishop here. Now both Bishop will under pressure. You be Bishop there, Rook E3. Knight moves, Rook D3 wins. Now the point is, you want to move the rook from here. So this is the wrong square. This is the right square. Right square. This is blunder. This is simply losing. Piece down. And this is also a mistake. He will come, and if you move the knight somewhere, then rook is coming. So the correct move is bishop here. Now this does not work. Why? Because this bishop is protected. I can just play knight. Simply I can move the knight, or maybe I can just one pawn, move the knight, draw. So the correct move is to attack the rook from the d8 square. This saves the piece. The position is black to play. Black to play. Actually, it is a game. White is Viswanathan Anand. Black is Michael Adams. 1987. White is Vijay Anand. Now I think most of players will know the position very well. The position is black to play. So black played knight here and black played he played this and lost the game. Anand won simply pawn push, and after the move Anand threatened mate and took the piece. You have to defend mate and piece down. Simply one piece down. So the correct move was here, this bishop c4. But in the actual game, Michael Adams played this bad mistake and Anand won very easily. So this is important. We need to be, very alert and sharp about certain. I am giving the fragments of some grandmaster games only. Okay, this is also a very interesting position, and it is white to play. Okay, I can give you the name of the player, but first find out how should white continue. White is having a huge advantage. Huge advantage. What should white do? Yes, I sold Anand Adams again. I have sold that game. Anand and Adams, yes. But in this position, this was also a very familiar position. What is the plan of white? Yeah, yeah. Okay. I'm having a cough. This is a cough expectorant. Cough expectorant. This is a expectorant. Cough I have to take out. Cough syrup. Last few days I am not well. Okay. No D5. No D5. Have you ever seen a horse becoming an elephant? This horse will become an elephant here. So pawn push with the idea the knight is coming, and then knight is coming. The knight will be more than an elephant here. It will be a Trojan, Trojan horse. Trojan horse. It will be a Trojan horse. The knight. So C5 is the correct move. The planning to plant the knight. It will become an elephant here. Trojan horse. Yeah, Troy, Trojan horse. So this is the correct plan. C5. This does not work. I will just maintain, and knight will maintain. Okay. So this is bad, and this pawn also will fall. Octopus. So after the move, the knight is just coming to the square, and he has no defense. The bishop cannot come in time. Lost. This position is white to play. Find out how can white continue. White has all the advantage. Juice came like champagne. I am taking cough syrup, man. It is nothing but cough syrup. Very bad health the last few days. Onkar Brahmavata, Queen f6 check. Not the best move. Not the correct move. Not the correct move. No. Your queen is under attack. Saurav Joshi, you better watch. Queen is under attack. Your queen is under attack. You better watch that. Not Queen f6. No. Not Queen f6. No Queen exchange. Queen exchange, how will you win the game? No queen exchange. Queen exchange will lose the game. If you exchange the queen, you will lose the game for white. No rook g7. No rook g7. There comes Saurav Joshi. Bishop f7. The threat is mate. What is the threat? Now mate. And if you take the queen, mate. And if you take the bishop, also mate. Mate. So you cannot take the bishop. Queen into d8, mate. And if you take the queen, rook checkmate. No, Brahmavata, this is the correct move. Saurav Joshi, congratulations. Bf7 wins. You have to see, total focus is required. Mating pattern. Mating patterns. Why? This is white to play. Can white win this game? White has 2 pass pawn on 7th rank. My God. Unbelievable. But can white win? Mr. Venkatesan, your notation is wrong. Your answer is right. Bishop f7. Mr. Venkatesan, your typing error. It is bishop f7. Yes. Please find out this given position. Can white win the game? Omkar Brahmavata queen, he is having checks, This rook will give check, 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 non-stop checks. This rook will check, check, check and draw. You will give check, 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 check. Perpetual check. If you make a queen, a perpetual check is coming. Now I will tell you, no, these are mistakes. Queen is a draw. If you make a queen, perpetual check. Bishop g3 is also a mistake. This is also a mistake. Wrong. This is wrong. Bishop a5 is also a mistake. Wrong. This is the right answer. Bishop here. Bishop a5, it's a draw. He will play rook here. Now, because there is a checkmate threat. There is a mate threat. And now rook check. And again back draw. So bishop a5 does not work, and bishop g3 is also draw. If you play bg3 is also a draw. He will play rook here. And now queen, check, check, and now stalemate. Now stalemate. So the correct answer is bishop to b6, winning. If somebody said that, no. This is only bf4 does not work. bf4 does not work. bf4 not working. Okay. Bishop here and winning. Okay. Next. The position is white to play. No, last position bishop a5 does not work. Venkatesan, it doesn't work. Only bb6. I have already explained. Only bb6 wins. No other move. Bishop a5, he would simply play rook to e3. Rook 1 to e3. Mate threat. In the given position is very interesting. White to play and win. White to play and win, Babu. Not working. Not working. Queen f8 does not work. No. Queen h5 does not work. It doesn't work. What is queen h5? King into h5. Umka Brahma Vata, queen f8 doesn't work. There is no threat only. I will just move the king. Just move the king up. Queen f8 doesn't work. Queen h5 doesn't work. No, rook h7 doesn't work. Queen is watching. You better watch. No, bg5 doesn't work. All supported, pawn into. Hardik says rook h7. No, queen is watching. The queen is watching that, and nothing is working. I will tell you the simple solution right now. Suppose we dislodge the queen, we win the game. We need to dislodge the queen. We need to deflect the queen from here by playing g4, which you cannot do because queen into is a check. So quite creeping king h2. Idea g4. And the pawn is pinned. You can't play g4. The bishop is pinning the pawn. There is no answer to g4. No answer to g4. No answer to g4. Or she goes king h2. A very quiet move. Nothing can stop g4, and then queen deflect the queen. Okay. Yes, RC, you are right. King h2 is a correct move. Now g4 wins. Okay, next. The position is black to play, Babu. Black to play and win. I'm sorry. How does black win? How does black win? Not correct. Or she goes not correct answer. Not correct answer. On queen d7, simply knight into c5 is coming. If you play queen d7, knight c5. Even queen c5 is coming. So not correct answer. No, not correct answer. No, not correct. Saurav Joshi and Horsi, not correct. What you are missing a piece of tactics. What you are missing is a piece of tactics by black. No, 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 ND6. No, no, no. No, ND6 is pin. Knight is in pin. It is illegal. No, no, not rook d4. It doesn't work. Queen into pawn is there. On rook d4, queen takes pawn is there. Okay. Find out how can black win. Okay, I told you, Prithviraj Bhomik, after b5, queen c5 is coming. When you play pawn b5, queen c5 is coming. Black gains a tempo, queen c5. Prithviraj Bhomik, you play this move, he gains a tempo. Rook d4 does not work, queen into pawn. Hardik Chanaya, I told you, when you play b5, he is playing queen c5. Queen c5. You want to take the b5? Queen c5. Okay. Hello, Mr. Venkatasan. Rook d4, queen c5 is coming. If you play rd4, queen c5. No b6. I will tell you what all you are missing is b5 is winning. b5 is winning. Now queen takes pawn. You have the tricky rook d6. If you move the knight, check, and the queen is gone. If you move the knight anywhere, this is the point. This is the point. Now when queen takes pawn, you are overlooking this. Not queen d6, rook d6. Now your knight is under attack. Knight cannot move. Knight cannot move anywhere. Rook check picks up the queen. So you are missing this lovely move. Lovely move. rd6. Now the knight is lost. Winning a piece free. Okay? Alright. So next. By this position is white to play and win. White to play and win. So I will be playing 6 o'clock today, no problem. 6 o'clock I will be there for the practical training games. Venkatasan says school b6. Omka Brahmavata. Okay, or see, you can tell the solution. Or see, you can tell the solution. No. No. The point is your knight is under attack. So you have to keep the initiative. So you attack the bishop. Now the threat is, I will take the bishop. You take my knight, I will take the bishop and win the game. One for you, one for me. Very simple solution. You take knight, I will take the bishop. Rook into bishop. Okay. So he will take bishop takes knight. But now the deadly move, queen h6. This is lethal. This is lethal. No, rook d6 does not work. Now here, this is knight is under attack. He is giving a threat. Black's threat is to take the knight. So what are you doing? So you have to, he gives a threat that if you take the knight, then white is a piece up. Not piece up, but it is clearly better. Not piece up exactly, but better position. So here he takes the knight, but then queen comes. Various mate threats. Lost. Okay. All right. I hope you agree with me. I hope you all agree. It's finished. If bishop comes there, bishop into bishop. On bd8, there is rook d8. What is bd8 come? No. This is the correct move. Bishop. The position, it is white to play. Ganpat ho gaya. What should white do now? White to play, what will white do? Okay, I will do that Grunfeld defense, that remaining exchange variation one part. Queen is bad. Or she goes, if you queen, it is a stalemate. Suppose you make a queen, it is a stalemate. Queen check and rook check and king draw. That is why you should not fall into the trap, not queen, but give a check first. No stalemate possible. You make queen, it is a draw. And now queen. It is not a draw because you have a room. King into pawn is possible. Immediate queen, it is a stalemate. That patience is required. You need patience. Don't make queen. Make him to capture so that the pawn is unprotected. Okay, next. Alright. Now I will discuss about this variation. This is exchange variation. Already I have discussed the variation with knight f3 and rook b1. I have discussed this. Knight f3 and rb1. I have discussed this line complete detail in the earlier lecture. So today I am going to discuss the other line, bishop c4. Bishop c4. Bishop c4. So here he will castle. Now we play knight e2. Now black has various setups. He can prepare to play queen d7 idea, some b6, bb7, or he can play c5 and queen c7. C5, nc6. Either he can play here queen to d7. This is one plan. With the idea, next to castle, he will play something like b6 and bb7 and then attack with rook d8 and c5. This is one plan, one to exchange. And second plan is to play something like a c5 and then castle, then knight c6, bishop e3 and then knight bishop here. He can even play knight f5 also, or pawn into pawn and then bg4. Now second plan is this. This is plan. Also we have seen positions that he can also play the modest move after bg4, f3, bishop d7 back. He can play knight here also. Attack, counter attack. So this was discussed, this diagram was discussed thoroughly it was tested in the Karpov-Kasparov World Championship match in 86 and 87 area time. So Karpov had vast experience and knowledge about the position. So he won very easily. Now bishop check. Of course, even this is also possible. Kramnik played this also and beat somebody, I think. So I will show that game. Now the correct check. Why not winning a pawn? Takes. Now come. Now he plays pawn push. Pin. Now come out of the pin. Bishop into pawn, threat was there. Come out. And now winning the game comfortably. Now here white played the marvelous move h4, completely restricting the ideas. g5 should win. So this was tested very well during the Karpov-Kasparov match, that here taking a pawn, when you gave bishop g4, knight f5, Karpov played this and had thorough knowledge of this position, and this is digested. Okay. Alright, but now let me show you some more ideas in this position. Let us say in this position he does not do this. Arey, just a minute. Look here. Now queen d7 plan. This is very slow and does not pose any problem to white. And now queen c2. So white has settled now. I don't think black can create threat, pressure on the white center. c5 is too slow now. Rook d1 is coming. Now this turns out badly. Forced comeback, bishop into, and now the position is terrible. I mean, black position is lifeless. It is just one-sided affair. There is no pressure. Consolidated. Maintaining the center, not to bishop c1, but continue controlling center, and black has very slow and white is much stronger here. Attack. कैप्टन लेवी, प्लीज़ मुझे आपके चैनल पे अपने जो वीडियो बनाए वो मुझे देखना है, चाहिए वो सजेस्ट कर दीजिए. It is Captain Levy. You can go to Gujarat State Chess Association website. Just type Sekhar Sahu. Episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I am doing it from April, but it was on Facebook. You can see it on. From 20th June. You can see from 20th June on Gujarat State Session website, episode 1, 2, 3. Before that, it was on my Facebook account. Another 2 months. I have done all end game, opening, middle game, everything. You can see that. आप देख सकते हो, आप जाके डाउनलोड कर सकते हो. Others goes, who is my favorite player? My favorite player, no doubt, Bobby Fischer. He was my favorite player. And then I love all the world champions, Capablanca, Alekhine, Garry Kasparov is one of the greatest player. Vijay Anand, no doubt he is a great player in all area. Yes, मैंने जो YouTube में बनाया वो सब रिकॉर्डेड है. आपको YouTube में जाके गुजरात स्टेट सेशन शेखर साहू टाइप करो, एपिसोड 1, एपिसोड 2, एपिसोड 3 डाउनलोड कर सकते हो. आप डाउनलोड कर सकते हो. मेरा परमिशन है, आप डाउनलोड करो, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. Okay, so this is very strong and it is winning. Very winning position very easily. So let us say another game. The queen d7 plan is too slow. This is too slow a plan. Simply it is not a good plan. This is just bad plan. Very slow. Nothing is there. So we will go the other plan like c5. Bishop c4, knight e2, and now b3 castle. Now we have already discussed on bishop g4. This I discussed just now. f3 and knight a5, bishop check I discussed. Okay, so I will not discuss that. Now bd7. This does not pose any problem. The idea now I will go away. The rook is against the the line. Bishop is watching this. So I will go away with a tempo. And I will hang on to the pawn. I will hang on. Because black will lose vital time in recovering the material. In the meanwhile, I will develop initiative. Develop initiative. Not bd4. bd4 is bad because of e5. But then knight coming. Simply bad. It is simply bad. Exchange up, and it should not. It is not enough compensation. And queen into check. Queen f2. Now the queen and rook both are watching. The queen is watching, the rook is watching, and this is a deadly threat. Hopeless. You cannot take that pawn, and you cannot allow the pawn to go to 7th rank. This should winning easily. Technically winning. So Svetlana Kozalova, hello, how are you? So here this is no problem. So I will go to another 3-4 more games to wind up this line. Now I would say that this line is good move. Bishop takes and pawn takes. Even this is possible. This is also possible. There is very good compensation. Now the point is, now white is simply recovering. Bishop check, attacking and mate threat. So he wants to do bishop h6 and mate. So only move. Now bishop can go either way. Bishop is under attack now. So this is bad and this is bad. Suppose I will show 2 games. What happens in bd7? One game I will show you. But the normal move is bishop to f7. Bishop f7. Only move. Here bb5. Again the only move. Now white has a crushing position. Instead of playing, the correct move is to play f4. f4, because after that he wants to open the f line. Bishop is watching already bishop is there. So this is simply terrific. But in the game he played bd3. f4 is winning. bd3. I will not show this game. I will go to the next game where f4 was played between the same players. We get the same position. Now d5. This is bad. I will discuss why this is bad in another game. I will discuss why this is bad. First let us see bishop. Now bishop only move. Again the only move. Only move. Now f4. Instead of the bad move bd3, which Stopalo won very luckily. This is incorrect move. But f4 is very powerful. Nothing better. Now you have no time to take. Queen into b5. Queen f6 is winning. Only move. Now, again, there is a mate threat. Not only the rook, but there is a mate threat also, and the rook is also. So only move. Now, despite being exchanged down, the position white holds the fort because the knight is stranded, cannot come out. The pawn is watching. The queen is watching, a mate threat is looming. Okay? The king in trouble. So, even though white is exchanged down, white is on the driver's seat. A cool move. This makes the rook and knight free. Even now it is in a winning position. Cannot take. Now queen takes pawn, it is a mate. Rook takes pawn, it is a back rank mate. What a wonderful position. Material just clean exchange down for black, but black is in a hopeless situation. Nothing better. New knight cannot come out. The heading, knight is heading to the key square. Key square. Cannot take the pawn, making a room for the king. Now you need to make a room for the king. A check is deadly, so only move. Only move. Now queen g7 threat and knight f6. Queen g7 and knight f6 is coming. Only move. And now queen g7, knight f6. Only move. Now white has settled. For the exchange, he has a central pass pawn which is immune. Because the power of the knight to the square, the pawn is immune. Even if you come, there is no threat. Strange position that the knight is in such a bad situation and the back rank. Now you cannot do. There is a check threat. There is a threat of a check and pick up the rook. There are two threats now. He is entering. The pawn is taboo. This pawn is taboo. Knight fork is there. Piece of tactics. The piece of tactics. Lost. Hello, Artha. Lost position. Beautifully played. We have got one more game. No, I told you, I will show you that bishop d7 line. What happens when you play? What happens? Normally I discussed this, that Topalov 0, and now this is bad move because of simply e5 break. You need to open line. You need to create threat against the king. So open the line. You have to take it. Unfortunately, there is no other good answer to stop, which is devastating. If bishop takes queen into e5, if bishop takes knight, queen e5 is crushing. Anyway, e5 pawn falls. And the position still the initiative. White has managed to open the line against this point. No other move, unfortunately. Forced, and white managed to win brilliantly. Larry Christiansen, a great tactician. So I am left with only one game. Let me finish that. Then I will close this Grunfeld defense. A modern game. A modern game. Bishop d3. Now forced. Earlier we used to see queen d4 was coming, but this is more scientific. Rook against queen. Now g4. No need to do, because you need to open the diagonal. You cannot play quietly. Black will consolidate. So g4. Well, there is no time for doing slowly. G5 is coming. So g5 I will take and play bf6. We are getting the square for the knight. Okay, he wants to now. The point is, black is one pawn down for exchange, but white has bishop pair. Black is only a pawn down for exchange. The material factor is not much, but the center and the badly placed bishop on f7 and backward pawn. White central superiority and also more active pieces. Even this position is plus for black. There is no target. Basically, there is no easy target for black. And he has a badly placed bishop. Mobile central pawns. Well, the rook is running out of good square. Now you can see rook d7 is not possible, we are losing a piece, and on rook c2 then bishop is trapping. Rook c2, the bishop will come. If you come here, the bishop is trapping the rook. Rook has nowhere to go. Total domination of center. So only move. Now the material is equal, but white is vastly superior. So this is just a modern treatment. Can you show Grunfeld from black? Like actually I will tell you, in my career I played everything. I played everything. King's Indian, Benoni, Benko, Nimzo Indian, Queen's Gambit declined, Queen's Gambit accepted, all kind of things. Even Budapest, which I don't approve, even Budapest I played and I beat IM. I played everything except Grunfeld. I played Grunfeld by transposition sometime, but not directly. So it will be difficult for me to explain Grunfeld from black side. I am more comfortable with white. For example, if you ask me, I can show you instantly all these plans. For example, now d4 knight f6, c4 g6 and c3 d5. Here I can show you some 5-6 plans. 5-6 plan, like I can say knight f3, and now here I can give a check, and then you play bd7, I come back. This I can show you. I can show direct also queen b3, Russian system. I just discussed exchange variation. I can also show you bishop f4, Petrosian system, which is not bad in my opinion. This is also giving a hard time to black. So I can show you bg5 also. This is not bad. For example, now if you play knight here, I can take, you take knight into, no. Here I play here knight f3 first. Knight f3. Now bishop g7, bishop g5, and now knight there, pawn into, knight into e6, queen d2, pawn into. This line is also not bad, but I think it is not dangerous. It is not dangerous. It is not so dangerous. Okay, bishop here h4. Now king g7 is a blunder. This is a blunder. You have to play h6, but it is not giving much. And in this position, white does better. Not this move. After this move, not this. Simply knight come back, and white stands better. This is also plus. So I can show you bf4 Petrosian system and all these things. But I am not comfortable on the black side. Very difficult. Okay, so thank you very much, friends. I will be with you again at 6 p.m. today for the next session, practical training. Take care. Bye. Bye, everybody. ओके कैप्टन लेवी, ऑरेंज बोर्ड लगा देंगे.